What's good, YouTube? What's cracking? What's good? Fat Boy Chronicles. So, I got on here because I ain't been on here in a while. And I wanted to talk about R&B music and why the kids today don't listen to it and why it's considered a lost art. And why is it considered corny to listen to it? Me personally, I like the generation has completely just forgotten about R&B or good R&B. I was born I grew up in the 90s. So in the 80s, I was born in 81. So that was early 80s. So I got to listen to Whitney. I got to listen to Luther. I got to listen to um, Prince and Michael. And, these were artists that I could see on the TV because there was a time when hip hop wasn't as big as it is now. There was a time when R&B was dominant and hip hop was just kind of pushing the envelope a little bit. And and growing up in my house with my mom listened to a little bit of everything. I can vividly remember Keith Sweat playing like constantly. Don't Stop Your Love, Right and Wrong Way, you name it, she was playing it. She played Jodeci, she played Guy, she played Luther, she played Whitney, she played Mariah, she played everybody from back in the day. Everybody that was popping back then, she played them. I'll Be Sure, she loved I'll Be Sure at one time. So my mom, she was always constantly played R&B. Even in the 90s, I listened to more R&B than hip hop. Like I didn't really start listening to hip hop until I got a little older. But growing up in the 90s, I listened to way more R&B than hip hop. I was listening to Tyrese. I was listening to 702. I was listening to Jagged, or no, not Jagged Edge. They came a little later. I was listening to Jodeci. I was listening to Boys to Men. I was listening to Blackstreet. I was listening to all these great artists. And all these great artists had something in common. Their music was always on point. Their music was always great. Brandy, who just popped in my head, Monica, you name it, I listened to it, man. That's really what it was back then. And back then, it really wasn't considered corny for a dude to listen to R&B music. It was more, it was just something, a cat listened to or whatever. He got picked at a little bit, but most of the time it was respected because 9 times out of 10, if we were listening to it, we were listening to it for the reason of, for the ladies. So that's really why we were listening to it. A lot of us weren't listening to it just to be listening to it. We were listening to it for the ladies. But then there was like some really good music. Tony Braxton, perfect example. Who else came out around that time? Babyface was around. Babyface actually was kind of 80s, 90s. But yeah, there was just some really good artists back then. Really good artists. And I don't know where it went wrong. I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know what the situation was in terms of. Sorry about that, y'all. I don't know what the correlation was or what the issue was as far as like the music and different things like that. But for some reason, the kids nowadays they listen to the music and they're like, it was corny. It was, it was people whining and different things like that. I know when I was younger, I hated Keith Sweat for like ever, and the reason I hated him is because dude always sounded like he was whining, like he was crying for a woman or something, and I always was like, that's corny. Like, who wants to be with a dude that's whining and crying about a lady? But anyway, Keith made great music though. Platinum selling artist, dope as hell. But the reason I made the video wasn't I'm talking about my love for R&B and B and what I like, but I'm talking about why have women now taken the sensitive side of the man, whether it's the music or anything else, and made it where he's not supposed to be sensitive. He has to be hard at all times. Um, I feel like women have done that, and to the point where men don't even listen to R&B anymore, because the women now, they listen to so much sped up music, and so much music that's like has nothing to do with nothing and is distorted, that they don't know a difference. They don't know, they don't. It's corny to them. It's corny if a dude listen to some decent R&B. I'm not talking about the nasty stuff that we listen to now and the stuff that passes as R&B and B and stuff like that. But I'm talking about the real genuine R&B. And nowadays the young men don't listen to it because the women don't like it, and the women don't really listen to it, or the women listen to it. But then if their man likes a song or their man is listening to it, they don't like. They're like, dude, why are you soft? You acting like a female and da 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 da. I don't understand it. When I was coming up, dudes listening to R&B way more than they listen to hip hop. I was around so many dudes that listen to R&B. I didn't even listen to a whole lot of hip hop till I got grown. So, like I said, my first introduction to hip hop, real tough, was Run DMC, of course, LL, EPMD, Fugees, Loonies, Short, 40, anything Bay Area. I was the B Nut, all that stuff. I listened to all that stuff back then. But those were my introductions to hip hop. And then after a while, like in the late '90s, in the mid to late '90s, I was a huge Pac fan. I'm still a big Pac fan. That's my guy, and I still listen to Pac to this day. But I listen to way more R&B. Deborah Cox was around back then. Tamia was around back then. Who? God, it was just so many really good artists back then, man. Like now, it's horrible. I'm just want to say to the fellas, it's okay to listen to R&B, man. Ain't nothing soft about listening to R&B. Ain't nothing rough or rugged about it. If you in a feeling some type of way, then you listen to it. Cats listen to a little R&B. Drake throw a little R&B, that Kiki song or whatever that get on my damn nerve every 5 minutes. Yeah, that song. But anyway, so guys, it's okay to be on that sensitive side. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to listen to music that makes you vulnerable. But at the same time, don't forget that you're a man. And don't let no woman tell you that it's not cool to listen to R&B. It's cool to listen to R&B and to have a side that's a little softer, and then having a rough side. I'm like that. I'm not saying that I'm a cupcake marshmallow type dude, because I'm not. Anybody that knows me knows I'm not. But I have a side that I'm, my sensitive side. My daughter brought that out of me because I was rough and rugged and harder than that before my daughter came. She brought that out of me. But I listened to R&B and I was still rough and rugged. So it's okay to listen to R&B. It's okay to like a certain artist. Nowadays, I listen to a little R&B. I like her from Oakland. I like Kehlani. Who else I like R&B wise right now? Anything Tyrese throw out. I love Tyrese, man. Even with the craziness and the wildness, his Black Rose album was dope as hell. And people slept on it. But yeah, Chris Brown, Trey Songz, all these guys this is new age R&B. And I like the new age, but I like the older age of R&B because people actually felt something with that. People actually listened to it. People actually took the time to be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, this is it. And guys would get females off of those songs, man. Like they would be with women all the time listening to that stuff. But then it just got to a place where women just got harder than men and were like, dude, this is not it. So I'm just letting dudes know there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with having a sensitive side. There's nothing wrong with listening to R&B at all. R&B is dope. R&B is cool. I ain't got no issues with it. All right, y'all. Let me get up off of here. Remember to get at me. Facebook, Lindsay R. Harris, Ballover 31, I want to say, on Instagram, Twitter, Pooh312, YouTube, Fatboy Chronicles. Get at me. you know, just get at me, y'all. I got stuff coming. Just hold on. Just wait. I'm gonna try to get on YouTube a little bit more, so you know everybody can hear it and listen to it, and you know whatever the case is, and build up my audience on here. Again, I thank everybody. I appreciate everybody. I love everybody. All right, y'all, get at me.